movie.
Welcome back to the channel, horror fans, and if you're not a horror fan, well, you're in the wrong place, obviously. Stick around anyways. You may see something you've never seen before. Hit that subscribe button below to see more crazy videos like this one, where we take crappy horror films and cut them apart in just a few minutes flat. In today's video, we're going to take an intimate look at the 1988 gross-out classic, Slugs. Yeah, that's right. Those slimy steroid-induced, shellless snails that leave trails all around your house and garden. God, these things give me the willies. Slugs was based on a book by the same name written by Sean Hudson in 1982, which is very similar to the plot from the film right down to some of the character names. Distributed by New World Pictures, but filmed in both Madrid, Spain and Lyons, New York, some portions of this film were dubbed in English for the Spanish-speaking portions and contain many Spanish actors. There was, however, an alternate version of this film for the UK, where 42 seconds was cut, containing the bedroom scene where a girl is completely nude and shots of a man chopping off his hand. Leave it up to the UK to make things hard for horror. As always, I'll be reviewing the uncut gem here. This channel isn't called Review Scourge for nothing, folks. So sit back, grab yourself a hefty barf bag, avoid leafy greens, you'll see why in a minute, and hang in there while we head on over to the breakdown. She looks like she's getting ready for a swim. No, not you, smartass. Oh, never mind.
Damn it, scumbag!
That's no way to treat the elderly.
You see that, Casey? Did you see that? Them goddamn kids could have killed me, but they didn't.
Yeah, I think I need a drink after that, too. Ron Bell, the gentleman seen here, gets an eviction notice. He gets pissed and throws a perfectly good pizza down into the basement, where the Slugs are waiting. Slugs love free pizza. Hell, who doesn't love free pizza? Ron lays down and gets mad at himself for throwing out that pizza from earlier. That night, a woman asks her man for a dance at a local bar. He says no. Then she asks the other man sitting next to her who brought his wife too. He says no. See the look in the wife's eyes? She starts rambling to herself and makes a scene.
I think we better go.
You know, I think you're right.
Awkward. Where we meet Don on the left and Mike on the right.
Don's our county sanitation supervisor.
Don's wife makes an off-color comment about Mike's wife.
Funny, but you don't look anything like a wicked beach of the north to me. What?
That was bold. Back at Mike's house, they're preparing for lovemaking.
Do you like?
Yeah.
Where the Slugs are peeping Toms. The next morning at the local sheriff's office, Mike meets with the sheriff. At this point, we realize Mike is actually the local health inspector. Mike rides with the sheriff where he has a strong stance against smoking.
Sheriff, you don't mind if I smoke, do you?
I sure as hell do, Brady.
That music seemed out of place. Mike and the sheriff are there to evict Ron.
Oh my God.
Ron's already been evicted, apparently. Ron left his dog outside all night. Poor Pooch. The sheriff is thinking about an early retirement, while Mike goes back in to snoop around and finds a gross bathroom. This segment is brought to you by Clorox. Get it Clorox clean, or just burn it down if it looks this damn bad. Mike sees slime trails leading to the basement where he takes a look-see and finds out why Ron had no visible trash cans. Jesus. Mike and the sheriff haul ass out of that dump. Back at Mike's office, we find out his full name.
Yes, it's Mike Brady.
Mike heads out to meet Don to find out what the lady's problem was on the phone.
Hi, I'm Mike Brady.
I don't care who you are.
This lady looks pissed.
Start at the beginning.
We can start anywhere you want, young man.
Damn, lady, chill out. Don dons his poopy suit to take a closer look at what the lady had to eat days ago. Mike doesn't want to mess up his jacket, so he stays up top.
And what exactly do you do?
Fuck off, lady. While Don is turd searching, he finds a pipe that appears clogged with a lung. And this shit. Well, there goes that tool. At the local high school, Mike's wife is teaching the local teens Shakespeare, when this girl has a smart-ass response.
Wicked bitch strikes again.
Then makes out with her boyfriend, who looks a lot like Sammy Hagar, while Mike watches. Later, the teens hang out at a local diner, where a girl gives her hypothesis on what happened to Ron Bell's body, which apparently the whole community now knows about, but wasn't readily mentioned.
The gold killer. He comes down from the hills at night and kills people, and then he eats them.
That's a stupid hypothesis, and I'm not buying it one bit. Check out this mullet. Across town at a residence, a wife asks her husband what the hell is on her plants. Slug eggs, dumbass. Didn't you read the title of the film we're in? The man then puts on a pair of gloves when this happens.
It's like biting my hand.
Oh wait, there's no need for that. His gloves are obviously stuck. Can't say that I've ever had that issue personally. So he makes a huge mess, and his wife is oblivious. The man takes drastic measures to remove the gloves. Correction, his hands. If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. Well, you should have been faster. Because you should never store flammable chemicals like that. Mike and his wife hold hands in a public display of affection when Mike notices they have slug trails too.
Well, you see these slime trails everywhere?
Ew. Well, don't touch it for God's sake.
Damn thing bit me.
Mike decides to scoop up one of the slugs. Honestly, I would have mistaken this for the neighbor's dog shit. Where he puts it into a jar and asks his wife about that crazy teacher she works with who plays in the chemistry lab on his free time. Elsewhere, we see a head of lettuce being chopped up with a slug inside of it. Yeah, I'll never eat black olives again now. Honey, your salad is ready.
Before you go any further, you better decide if you want your dessert before or after the main course.
I'll pass on the salad. Mike and his wife make it over to see Bill Nye here, where he brings the slug in for the teacher to look at, and pops the burning question on everyone's mind at this point.
John, these things ever eat meat?
What is it? What's wrong?
Oh, just a little indigestion.
I can't risk losing you.
Get this guy something, for Christ's sake. Sammy Hagar is waiting in his car because he can't drive 55, but apparently he can park it. He then sneaks into his girlfriend's house to bump uglies. Typical 80s flick. Guy likes girl, girl likes guy. Girl's parents think his guy is a bad influence. Guy then has to sneak over to parents' house to get some. If parents weren't so rigid, this wouldn't have been a thing back then. Back at the lab, the chemistry teacher switches to biology for a moment, while the other one makes a run for it and slips into the hamster cage, where the hamster is clearly not happy and does this. Now the teacher is thinking about retirement for sure. Next, we see another bathroom Clorox can't help. Not sure Terminex could help here either. Maybe they should just do what the couple did with their house earlier. I just like watching that, I guess. The slugs are all over the floor. Sammy Hagar and his girl are bumping uglies, where Sammy steps on one. His girlfriend gets up and slips on them. That's really a lot of damn slugs, where she gets covered in them. Too late, Sammy. She's a goner. Yep. Better save yourself. Okay then, never mind. The next morning, the guy with the upset stomach from the slug salad is still having issues. Mike arrives on the scene to see what happened. To Sammy's girlfriend. Bet she won't call his wife a wicked bitch anymore.
I want pictures of everything, understand?
Sure, Sheriff.
Don't sure, Sheriff, me unless you know you're sure.
I'm sure that I'm sure, Sheriff.
Mike tells the sheriff the cause is killer slugs. Sheriff isn't falling for it.
What'll it be next? Demented crickets? Rampaging mosquitoes, maybe?
Maybe the sheriff should retire.
What are you staring at, goddammit? You got nothing better to do to stare at me?
He's a bit moody. Over at the Ashton Sanitation Department, that's a very plain-ass looking sign. Don calls Mike to tell him what his wife cooked for dinner last night.
Rats and chickens and cats and even a large dog.
Don reviews a sewer map, while Mike magically appears. Wait, wasn't Don just talking to Mike on the phone?
This entire area from the edge of Ron Bell's property line to the town limits was a toxic waste dump.
Ah, the old toxic waste dump explanation. Well, that clears everything up, folks. The guy with stomach issues is now out eating with some work clients. Maybe he should see a doctor.
Cheers.
Too late. I wonder what happens next. Jesus, now nobody's going to want to eat there. Place just went from 5 stars to no stars. Of course, Don and Mike arrive on the scene again. Neither are actual police, but already trying to help more than the silly-ass sheriff.
You crazy? We got no worms here. We got worms here.
Worms.
Mike snags a sample of the worms that flew out of that guy's eye socket and takes him over to Bill Nye.
Strain of parasite found in the bloodstreams of slugs.
Yes, they're parasites from a slug. Who would have known, right? Across town again. Man, they cover some ground in this film. Gotta know what's going on at each house, mind you. They, too, have a slug problem. Fun fact, you should probably always wash your produce before eating it. Forget it. I'm never eating lettuce again. Mike stops by the Home Alone house to see what's going on, where he gives his wife a hand with the dishes. Nice job, Mike. Now clean that shit up. Mike gives his wife a word of encouragement.
Just hang in there. You'll be fine.
How? How am I going to do that?
Mike swings by the Ashton water supply, yet another plain-ass sign. Boy, they really saved the budget here, didn't they? Where he demands the water be shut off to the town to stop the spread of slugs. Mr. Eyebrows thinks he's crazier than hell, then says this mindless shit himself.
You ain't got the authority to declare happy birthday!
Well, why not? If it's your birthday, you should be able to, right? Mike leaves and Mr. Eyebrows goes back to eating. What the hell is he eating here anyways? Looks like a burger, some peas, spaghetti, and fries. Must be leftovers. Moments later, Mr. Eyebrows' secretary pops in to chat and finds him in the bathroom, dead. Crazy chemistry teacher shows Mike something awesome.
Watch this.
Mike tells the teacher he needs tons of that shit to fix the town's slug problem. Teacher agrees to get right on it. The teens throw a crappy-ass Halloween party. Another thing the film barely mentioned was it was Halloween. Don loads the teacher's concoction into a truck, while Mike and the teacher stand amazed. Or stoned. You take your pick here. The teacher rides with Don, while we see some shitty dance moves. After all, it was 1980s. The Grim Reaper stops by. Now you know something bad is about to happen. The team meets up to cover their plans of dumping the lab teacher's chemistry concoction in the sewers. This ought to work good. One of the girls at the party sees the Grim Reaper and hides in the sewer. Whoops! Well, folks, we know what happens next. Ding, ding, ding! Right you are. Don gets a brilliant idea to burn through an electrical wire in order to electrocute the slugs. Not sure why they didn't just stick with the original plan, but whatever.
I'll open the manhole.
No, you won't. Don and Mike find the central breeding ground for the slugs, where Mike tosses in some fresh meat to further agitate the slugs. Not sure why, honestly. The teacher's still struggling with the manhole cover, when in walks the sheriff. Mike tries to open up a valve, and this happens. Don is now floating in a pool full of turds. Ew. Mike tries helping him, but gives up quickly after seeing all those turds. Don's a goner. Mike climbs out and tells the teacher to start dumping the chemicals, which in return causes several explosions. There goes the remaining budget for this film. Mike's wife arrives to congratulate him on a job well done. The end. Or is it? This film had some wonderful practical special effects, where it won a Goya Award for it. The Goya Award, if you're not familiar, is the Spanish equivalent for the Academy Award in the United States. Pretty impressive. The movie overall was fun to watch. There are very few horror films that I haven't seen personally in my days, and even less than that left me squeamish. This film left me a little squeamish for salads. There were scenes that drug alone, or in few cases, weren't even germane to the plot. Like the whole exposition into the business partnership at the dinner. You know where this happens. The man and woman pictured here were working with the guy who was having stomach issues throughout the beginning of the film to secure property to build a shopping mall on what was part of the contaminated land that we learned about later. I left that portion out of my review as I thought it was boring and pointless. But to you as the viewer, you still understood what happened, right? And what about the Halloween subplot? The teens only mention this maybe once or twice at the diner scene, and then we see it at the very end. Had I not been paying close attention to that, I would have missed it. With that subplot alone, the story could have been fleshed out more. I'm giving this film 3 out of 5 skulls, if for nothing but the practical effects alone. They were very impressive. And not to mention this little guy here. Until next time, folks.
Oh, for God's sakes, Madge, that's enough. I don't want to hear anymore.